Hi there. Welcome back to Birds on Power Lines. This is our third podcast of our Greek adventure, and as you can see, we're at the beach on Crete, or better also known as Crete in North America, I guess.
Yes, so we're trying to learn a bit of our Greek here. So you can also hear music in the background. so
Maybe not. The microphones are good.
I don't know,
We
but
can hear
we
music in
can
the
hear
back.
music in the background. So if you are listening to us on an audio platform, uh, you can also go to our YouTube location at Power Lines Podcast,
Mhm.
and you can see us at the beach from our hotel room.
Mhm.
And I will be inserting some video of a few things that we did today, just so that you can get a better idea of what's going on, and so we can
Mhm.
share what we're doing, as we
Mhm.
have been doing in the previous two podcasts. So
Yep.
if this is your first listen, there will be another two podcasts from Athens, and also from our island hopping that we were
Yeah.
doing on a
Mhm.
cruise. So we were in Athens for a few days before we got on a Celebrity Infinity cruise for 7 nights.
Yep.
And we got off that cruise ship this morning
Mhm.
and took a flight, an Aegean flight from Athens to Crete.
Mhm.
And our hotel is very close to Iraklio.
Mhm.
Iraklio?
Yes. Yeah, I think
Um,
so. That's how the YouTube. That's how
that's
YouTube said to
that's
pronounce
how
it.
we learned how to say it from YouTube. So, and the name of the hotel is, I guess,
Yianna. Yianna.
Yianna Caravel by Checkin, and I will put a link to that in the description.
Mhm.
So yes, you can see that we have this great room. So we're really lucky, and
Mhm.
so we wanted to share that with you. So we didn't do a lot today. We left
Yeah.
the ship at 5 a.m. Well, the ship
Well,
ported
yeah.
at 5 a.m.
Mhm.
and then we madly tried to get out at 7 a.m.
Yeah. Mhm.
to catch our flight here. So the flight is only an hour out
Mhm.
from Athens to here. Actually, it's a little less than an
Yeah, it's
hour.
like 55 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, and then this hotel is about another 20 minutes
Mhm.
from the airport at Iraklio. So there's
Mhm.
another airport on Crete, and I can't remember the name of the place, but there's another airport.
Mhm.
But if you want to get to this hotel where we are at, that's you have to go to Iraklio.
Yeah.
And apparently, since we are counting cats.
Mhm.
In reference to our podcast on Dead Boy Detectives.
Yeah. Another one of our live podcasts. So if you like this
Yes,
format, you should probably go and
go and
check
check that
that out
out.
too. Yeah.
But yeah, so we've been counting cats every day. So today I did not see the cats,
I saw the cats
but
walking back
apparently,
from the beach.
yeah,
Yep.
walking back from the beach. I didn't come back from the beach at the same time. So it apparently is a two cat day
Mhm.
and counting. We might see some more cats because we're going to go out exploring a little bit. So what did we do today? So when we got here, we actually had this fabulous Greek uh, food
Yeah,
for
like
lunch,
traditional food. Yeah.
traditional food, and you
Mhm.
can't see it behind me, but there's the hotel, and then there's a little street, and
Mhm.
then on the other side of the street is the restaurant for this hotel. Well, there's a restaurant below us as
Mhm.
well, but it goes out onto the beach,
Mhm.
and they actually pride themselves on having authentic Greek cuisine
Mhm.
prepared by the chef daily.
Mhm.
So this is we really and wow, we had a
It
really
was
good.
very good.
It was amazing. I had stuffed
And yeah,
tomato,
for those vegetables.
zucchini,
Mhm.
and pepper.
Mhm.
And you had a risotto
Yeah,
with,
it's not like technically traditional Greek food, but
well, the
it's just more Italian. It
yours.
was yeah, it wasn't in the traditional
Okay,
food
well,
section.
mine was
Yours is
traditional.
traditional,
Mine was
yeah.
in the traditional
And we also
section.
had dolmadas. So we also had
We
dolmadas.
had
Yeah.
dolmadas, and we have been waiting for
Yeah, I've been looking for
dolmadas.
dolmadas the entire time
And
we were here.
oh wow, we had how many were on there? Like
At least 12.
12 dolmadas
Yeah.
for like €4.
It,
Like
it was very
wow.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, and the other thing we wanted to say about this hotel is that it's mostly Greeks that are staying
Hmm.
here. So there isn't a lot of touristy type of like traditional what you would think of touristy kind of stuff.
Hmm.
There are tourists, but they're Greek. So
Hmm.
you're not going to find a lot of souvenir shops here and stuff like that,
Hmm.
like you might see
Any other
in
place.
Mykonos or Santorini or
Yeah.
Hydra, like
Hmm.
we've been seeing.
Hmm.
But the person at the front desk said that there's a really nice shop
Hmm.
nearby
Hmm.
with uh, nice
Like
Greek
yeah, like
things to
nice Greek
see,
things.
but
Yeah.
not souvenir
not
stuff.
souvenirs, just
So we'll
handmade
probably,
things. Yeah.
yeah, handmade
Mm-hmm.
things, and things made in Greece. So we'll probably go and check that out maybe later today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I don't know what else did we do today. I think
That was
that's
pretty
pretty
much
much
it.
it.
We just sat on the beach.
Yeah, so we
We,
just
we
enjoyed the
were
beach.
tired, so we sat on
Yeah,
the beach.
because it's being on a cruise for 7 nights and going out to port every
Mm-hmm.
day. It's a little tiring. So it's exciting and it's fun, but so that's why
Yeah.
we thought we'd like to just do what the Greeks do in
Yeah.
the summer for a couple of days before heading home
Mm-hmm.
and just be on the beach. So that's what we did today, and you can see it's a little choppy.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun though.
There was a lot of rocks
You got tipped
everywhere.
over.
Yeah.
And the kids are having a great old time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just nice to be around. Experience a bit more of the Greek culture,
Mm-hmm.
because, like we said, there's mostly Greeks
Groups,
here,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, I think that's it for today. Like I said, we'll do a bit of exploring, and probably our podcast that we're doing tomorrow for this
Mm-hmm.
might
Will be
be
longer. Yeah.
well, it'll be a little longer, but it's
Hopefully.
probably going to be you'll see us, and it'll be nighttime by the time we get
Mm-hmm.
back from our plans tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll let you know what those are tomorrow,
Yes.
and the continuation of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you're enjoying this, and again, please try to check out our other two podcasts if you're interested to
They're
find
very
out what
fun.
we've been having a good time. So yeah, so that's it for today. So thanks for listening, and we'll continue tomorrow. And welcome back to Birds on Power Lines. This is the end of our second last day on our Greek adventure. And if you are looking at us at our YouTube location, you'll see that we're in the dark.
Yes.
Um,
It's very dark out
It's
here.
dark, so but this is the best place that we could find. We're back on our balcony at our hotel. And again, I'm going to put a link to our hotel in the description below. And yeah, so
There's a good reason we're doing it this late.
yeah, we're going to explain what happened. So if you are listening to us on an audio platform, go to our YouTube location and you'll see video of things that we did today. And I'm just going to remind everyone that this is the third video in this current travel podcast.
Yeah, so if you like this or want to see more of this or listen to more of this, you can find 2 more podcasts that are the first 2 installments of Greece.
Okay, so what did we do today? Well, first of all, we have to remember this was a 5-cat day.
Yes.
We are continuing our cat counts.
And we actually barely saw any until the end of the day.
Right.
Which we will tell you about. But
yeah, that's when we actually saw the cats. But then again, yesterday we actually saw more cats. So we got up to 10 cats.
Yeah, we got 10
so
cats.
So from yesterday we saw, I think another 5 after
something like that.
I think so. And plus a dog.
A stray dog.
A stray dog or a free dog, we'll put it that way, was quite large. So yeah, so that was their first dog that we saw. That was in Greece, actually. The other ones were in Turkey. If you listen to podcast 2, you'll hear about that. And again, hopefully you can hear us well because people are
making a racket.
It's
I can hear a drum right now. Actually,
it is Greece and it's late, and actually it's got to be close to midnight.
Yeah, it is.
So 5-cat day. We started our morning pretty calmly. We had this fabulous breakfast here at our hotel. I really recommend this place. This place is fabulous.
It was very good.
It was really good, and it's included with the price of the of staying here.
Yeah.
So then what we did is we went shopping because we had a few things to pick up. Like I said, this was our second last day here. Because tomorrow we want to spend a lot of it at the beach. So we thought we'd pick up a few things for people and for ourselves. Just some little things. So then we did that, and then we came back and had an amazing Greek lunch. Again, here at the hotel, they've got amazing food. So then afterwards, we went on a little adventure. I love to snorkel, and this one gets dragged with me doing that. So what we did is that I it's not cheap, I'll put it that way, but wanted to do something really special.
Mhm.
And we went on a sailboat, and it took us out to an uninhabited island close to Crete here,
Yeah.
and it is called Dia.
Mhm.
And then we snorkeled there.
Yeah, and our guide was, or I guess captain, she was saying that there are actually, since there are no goats on, or sorry, there are no, sorry, there are no
There's
people,
no people
on this island
living on that island, uninhabited.
but there are a lot of
But
goats.
there are goats.
Yes.
And there's also a blue dome church
Yeah,
out there
so
as well.
Yeah, for the goats, like
For the goats, I don't know, but anyway, so there's a church there. A lot of the even little tiny islands seem to have tiny churches on them,
Mhm.
so it's not a surprise that there was a church there.
Mhm.
So snorkeling, and we wanted to actually to go on their full. It's the company is called Sailing Crete, Sailing Crete, Crete, sailingcrete.gr.
Yeah.
And I'll put a link for it. And they actually have a snorkel trip that we wanted to get on, and they would take you to like 5 places around Crete to snorkel.
Yeah.
But that the
It
only
was all
day
booked up.
it was booked
Yeah.
until the day after we're here. So so that didn't work. So we ended up taking their evening sunset cruise, because
yeah.
they let you go snorkeling.
Mhm.
So we did that. And in hindsight, advice, if you want to do stuff like that,
Mhm.
go out to the main street where you are, because we realized afterwards that there were
Mhm.
other tours that were possible.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get myself onto a boat because I was afraid that it would be booked up, and indeed that one was booked
Yeah.
up. But when we went out to the main street where we went
There are
shopping
at
here,
least like 2 or 3
there's
other
two or
shops.
three
Yeah.
other places that we could have looked at. So maybe we would have had more of a snorkel geared tour, but
Yeah.
it was okay. I
Mhm.
managed to snorkel, and there's apparently it's a 50 meter,
Yeah.
which is obviously more than that,
Yeah.
50-meter view,
Mhm.
because the water is so clear here.
Mhm.
And the last time I snorkeled was in Hawaii last summer,
Mhm.
and we weren't podcasting yet, so
No.
there's no travel podcast on that.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I had ever snorkeled, and
Mhm.
it's different snorkeling here because in Hawaii there was a lot of colorful fish.
Mhm.
Here, there was a lot of fish that were large, and they were sort of white,
Mhm.
and so big whitefish, smaller
like
whitefish,
gray ones
grayish,
too. Yeah.
and
Some weird red and white
sort of
little.
wormy
Yeah.
things that kind of creeped us out.
I didn't like that.
So we're gonna ask our aquaculture marine biology friend, and I know you're probably listening to this podcast, so we will do a podcast with her one day,
Yeah.
and then we will ask her what this creature was, and then there were so it was interesting because what we did is that we got there in the late afternoon, and we snorkeled first
Yeah.
for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then the cruise offers like a light dinner, and
Mhm.
we didn't actually have much time to eat because we were snorkeling for so long.
Yeah.
And then we went back out, and by
Mhm.
that point the sun was going down, and the
Mhm.
water looked different, obviously, because the light was different,
Mhm.
and it took on sort of this aqua blue,
Yeah.
like amazing different color,
It was very blue.
and underneath the sailboats, and then we could see the fish were coming up from
Mhm.
below, and these
Yeah.
beautiful.
So we were swimming like basically in a school of fish.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like they were sort of like a golden color with black tails.
Yeah.
And oh, it was amazing. Like I'm so glad we went back in
Mhm.
afterwards. And these were it was like we're like in the school of these fish.
Mhm.
And I think it's because it got darker that they came
Mhm.
up, and we didn't see
Probably.
them as well when we were snorkeling earlier. I think I
Mhm.
saw a couple of like black
Yeah.
fish,
Yeah.
and they were way down there, and then that made all the difference.
Mhm.
Not that the snorkeling before we ate wasn't good, it was nice,
Mhm.
but this was spectacular. I'm glad
Mhm.
we popped back in there. We had another 15 minutes
Yeah.
to do that. So yeah, so that was amazing. And then of course, we saw the sunset, and
Mhm.
hopefully we'll put a bit of video that you can see it. It was amazing. I took so many pictures.
You took a lot of
I
pictures.
took a lot of pictures because as the sun goes down, it looks a little different. And the interesting thing was that there's so many sailboats, and they were all out. So I got to see, because you can't take a picture of your own sailboat, right?
Wow, yeah.
But we got pictures of other sailboats. So there was, so they were all sailing out, and they were all sailing back at the same time. So that made it really interesting. So now the advice: if you do one of these tours on Crete, try to let them take you out from your hotel.
Yeah, it's
because
it's
we
difficult.
didn't get a spot on
Yeah.
the thing taking us out to, because they left from the port.
Yeah.
So we took a cab out there, and there's
Yeah.
app here. They don't have Uber.
Yeah.
So
no Uber, no Lyft.
no. So
Something completely different.
So they have something called Free Now.
Yeah.
So we used that, and we had no problem getting a cab in. And it works just like Uber, whatever, and Lyft. It works exactly the same way. But when we got out, it was about 9 p.m. and we got out. The port is really close to this major walking street, which is spectacular.
It's very nice. I wish we had. I wish we were in a better mood and more dry
and not full of salt.
Yeah.
But we walked down the street because it's hard to pick up a cab there, and
because
we tried at the marina.
Yeah.
We tried at the marina, but you need to actually. It asks you on this Free Now app, what ship did you just get off of?
Yeah, and where's the dock?
And where is it docked?
Even though we were outside of the actual port itself, we were at a cafe nearby, but it's
there's a place called Marina Cafe or Cafe Marina, and it would not let us. And,
so
we didn't get off a ship.
If you're still within a certain distance from where it says the port is, it will ask you. Like all of these
where are you docked?
And you have to do that because apparently it's
illegal not to do it.
In Greece.
So we thought, well, we'll walk to the walking street, and of course no cab stop on the walking street because there's no traffic. So we thought we'll walk in a little bit and then try to catch one. And oh my God, we could not catch. Nobody wanted to take us. Yeah. And it took us about an hour.
Yeah, more than an hour. And we got out at like about 9ish, and we didn't get picked up until close to 10,
that was
30,
So just nobody wanted to pick us up because the thing is, it's so busy downtown. I'm figuring that they can make more money just staying down there, and we're a little bit out.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. And
also we just kept getting the same few.
Yeah, we kept getting the same guys, and we were just getting annoyed with those two. So we kept moving to try and get into a different area, and finally one guy came. He was new.
Pack good walking shoes.
If you're gonna get out at night off your cruise. So but we got back and we're here, and that's why it's really late and everyone's partying because it's Europe, and that's what they do in the summer at the beach. And so that's what's happening. But all in all, it was a good day. But that last little part was a little stressful. But we managed to swing it, and we're back. And now I'm just gonna go sit by the beach. I'm gonna
go to bed.
Yeah, you're gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go sit by the beach for a little bit and just chillax. And so then we have one more day, and we'll check in with you guys again tomorrow. And thanks for listening for another day of our Greek Adventure podcast.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Hi, welcome back to Birds on Power Lines and our travel podcast to Greece.
Yep.
And this is our last day. And what we wanted to do is do this a little early because the afternoon is going to be beach because we have once again, and because we have to leave really early tomorrow. We have to be out of the hotel at 5 a.m. So we are really just going to rest and enjoy what we have behind us, which is again our beach. We are again on our balcony of our hotel room. And again, I'm going to put a link to our hotel information below in the comments so you know where we're at. Very close to Heraclio.
Yeah.
On Crete. Creta. All right.
Crete.
Crete.
Yeah.
Crete.
Yep.
And we wanted to let you know that what did we wanted to read. I forgot something yesterday because we were talking about our trip to our sailing trip out to Snorkel, and I forgot to say that we saw a lot of sea
Yeah,
urchins.
our the person who was leading the sailing excursion told us to like really watch out for the sea urchins because they're
Yeah,
like all over the rocks. We saw some with like really very large spikes
yeah, like
hiding in the
the really
rocks.
long
Yeah.
spiky ones, as well as the short spiky ones,
Mm-hmm.
all decorated with shells and rocks, the little
Mm-hmm.
ones. But the big long ones with the big long spiky things. So we actually snorkeled with our, I guess, our shoes. Like
Yeah.
we have some, you know, Tivas and Keens
Mm-hmm. That float.
that float, and we actually used those just to so that we could avoid that if we stepped up on the rocks. And so I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
mention that. And also, we also saw sponges,
Mm-hmm.
which I neglected to say yesterday because we were so tired by the time we got back. So right now we're about halfway through our last day, and we
Yeah.
are at how many cats?
Five.
Five
Five cats.
cats.
Yeah.
One of those was a kitten,
Mm-hmm.
and we saw that at our location this
Yeah.
morning. So I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah. So this morning it's a good idea to go here early, but we went to the Palace of
Knossos.
Knossos. Um, and just like walked around and looked at the ruins and the frescoes and everything. But yeah, so it's a very good idea to go to this place
Early.
early because it gets very hot. There's like almost no shade. Um, and yeah, so the first thing we saw when we got there were the tour guides. They do tours in at least like 8 to 10 different languages.
Yeah, and they're
Um,
actually waiting by the
yeah,
entrance, so
and
you
they're
don't need to
yeah.
arrange it beforehand.
Yeah.
They're waiting for you.
Yeah, so it was just like so the prices really range very dramatically. So if you're doing it in a group, it's only 20 euros. But if you're
Well, it's
doing it
20 euros per
20 euros
person.
per person, yeah. But if you're doing it for a private tour, it's 180 euros. So I guess depending on how big your group is, um,
And that was
pick
our guide.
accordingly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they might vary, but that
yeah,
gives you an idea. I don't think
hmm
they'll vary too much between guides because I think they all know each other.
probably, yeah.
So they
We don't want to
probably,
price gouge or anything.
yeah, I think they probably have an
Yeah.
arrangement between each other because they're
Um,
all standing there.
anyway, yeah. So then after we went on our guided tour, which was about an hour or so,
Yeah,
we just went around after. But yeah, so like as I said, there's no shade. It felt very hot, but it was only like 35 degrees Celsius. So it wasn't like as hot as it has been when we've been walking around different
yeah,
places,
like
but
you know, and
it definitely felt very hot. Yeah.
other places were like 45
Yeah.
degrees centigrade. So
Mm,
it was a relatively cool day, but it's just that there's no shade there.
yeah.
So the guide was really making sure we're sort
Mm-hmm.
of like, you know, while he was talking to us in the shade
Mm-hmm.
as much as we could. Like there's little
Mm-hmm.
splotches of shade,
Yeah.
but most of it is really exposed. So
Yeah.
even the guy at the hotel here, he said to go early,
Go early. Yeah.
and
So
it
definitely.
opens.
7:30. I think it's.
I think
Opens at
I thought
8.
it opens at
Oh,
eight,
the 8. Yeah.
just because of that, because
Yeah.
it's so hot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did. And
Yeah.
what did you enjoy the most
Yeah.
about
So
it?
actually I quite enjoyed like around it there's like a whole bunch of olive trees, whole olive groves, entire forest of olive trees. They're pretty much the only like shrubbery that's kind of surrounding the whole place. So it was I liked that quite a bit. It was very nice. And we saw like a peahen going
Yes.
around in the olive trees, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
I've never really been that close to one of them. It literally walked right by us. Um,
Hopefully, we'll get some video of that. So, again, if you're
yeah.
listening on an audio
Mhm.
platform, try to join us at our YouTube location so that you can see some of what we saw.
Mhm. Yeah, and then also like the thing that this palace is famous for are the well preserved and or very well created replicas of the frescoes there. A lot of the frescoes are in the actual palace are replicas, and the real ones are likely in the museum. We didn't go to the museum because we wanted to spend our time at the beach, but you can use the same like ticket to get entrance to both the museum and the palace itself.
Yeah, and the museum is right in Heraclio.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not in the same location. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why we just
Yeah.
decided we're not going to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but same ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You enjoy.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I thought it was neat to see the Royal Road.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think in terms of Knossos, I think most people would be familiar with it because of the famous labyrinth,
Mhm.
as well as the Minotaur, right, the
Yeah.
bull. And actually, our guide was really interesting. You know, every guide has their thing,
Mm.
and this one was very. how should we say it, very passionate about the Greek language and how it is the root of a lot of stuff. And I found that really interesting. So Knossos itself means knowledge, and he explained why this palace was, sort of the seat of knowledge, and it actually has inspired me to try and learn more Greek.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
We can
weird.
try.
We can try. No, but it's ancient Greek. And if you think about it, like the Greek alphabet and math and everything, and that's why there's actually universities there and libraries, and it's just really interesting to start to appreciate that, and it's kind of interesting because for our background, apparently the background stretches back to the Greek. I've had quite a few people who are Greek tell me this, so it kind of makes me interested to find out or learn a bit more about the language and to understand it a little bit better, because I don't know how it's connected. So it's just interesting. But anyways, I found him really interesting. And like I said, every guide has their thing. And he was clearly very passionate about the Greek language and saying that you don't really know what you're saying if you don't really understand what the language and what the words mean. And even in terms of like saying, how old are you? And in the Greek, it really goes back to how many cycles you've had. So cycles around the sun. And that bit of knowledge goes back to way before BC, right?
Yeah.
And that shows that they had knowledge about the Earth going around the sun even before we officially had the knowledge that the Earth is going around the sun. It just because that's how the language works, and you know that from the language, and that was, that's just an example of what he was sharing with us, and that makes a lot of sense, right? So yeah. So that's why I think, oh my God, maybe we should learn a little bit more about that, and just in terms, because just in terms of our general knowledge. It's anyways, that was our guide.
Yes.
Um,
It's very interesting.
and then actually our taxi app worked really well today, versus last night. So I really believe that problem was because of where we were
to go at the time of day.
Yes. So, but yeah, so just to remember that. I think other than that, we're just gonna beach. And we'll probably see more cats. There's two cats in the hotel,
Somewhere.
A ginger cat and a black cat, right? So they kind of don't count because we see them.
We see them every day, pretty much.
But yeah, the cats we saw were all at Knossos, and there was one kitten that was
jumping on
and it was totally stealing the show. And just so you know, people pet them. I mean, they're wild cats and they're very affectionate. They really want the belly rubs and the ear scratches. So it's not like they're afraid of people. I think they know where their food is coming from. So I think genetically they know what they need to do to get food and attention. But yeah, so that was kind of neat. And just so you know. Anything else that we want to share? Is there anything else on our list? I think we're good. And so this will conclude our podcast on our Greek adventure. And we'll go back to our regular stuff,
your regular
scheduled programming on fandoms until we go on another excursion somewhere. We have things planned, but nothing booked. So hopefully we'll do another travel podcast in the future. But this was a pretty big trip. So thank you for listening to us. And it was our pleasure sharing this with you. And we hope you've learned something. And I know there's things we forgot. Sometimes after we're done this, I think, oh, we should have said this and that. I don't know about you, but
not really.
No.
No.
Okay, I guess that's the teacher in me. I'm like, I can't help myself. It's like, oh, I should have said this. But yeah, we hope that you enjoyed this. And this concludes the third installment of our Greek adventure travel podcast. And I don't know, it's going to be interspersed between our regular fandom things. And because I don't want to do it all in one block. I kind of want to sort of intersperse it. And again, if you're listening on audio, come and find us at our YouTube location to see video of the things we're talking about. And again, as always, thank you for being part of Birds on Power Lines, and we wish you well until the next podcast. Thank you very much.